Chronic kidney disease need not be a death sentence. That's because treatment and transplants are available in Guyana free of cost at the Georgetown Public Hospital Corporation. 46-year-old Calvin Luthers is one of those who owes his survival to these services. Luthers left Montserrat in 2015 after working there for 15 years to return to Guyana to receive medical assistance. He has been diagnosed with chronic kidney disease and is now on dialysis at the Dubai Medical Center. Here is his story.
The future of Guyana has never looked better. Our nation is on the cusp of a development program like never seen before. While Guyana is now emerging as an energy giant through the discovery of massive reserves of oil and natural gas, it is your government's intention that the huge benefits emerging from this will go where it matters most, to you, the people of this beloved country. There is a surge of confidence in the way Guyana is governed once again, and the level of investor interest is unprecedented. Guyana is poised to become the breadbasket of the region, and the pace at which this nation will grow through prudent fiscal management will be nothing short of impressive. But more than anything else will be the way every Guyanese, regardless of color, class, or creed, becomes a part of this historic period of national transformation, sharing in the wealth and well-being of it all as one Guyana.
I used to be the electronic technician in Montserrat. If you know of Montserrat, it's a very small population, about 5,000 to 6,000 people populate that island. I was the premier technician on that island. I don't have a family, so to say, wife and kids, so I pretty much used to support my family back home whenever it comes to that and that sort of thing. Dialysis have changed my life drastically.
After the initial diagnosis, he came to Guyana to confirm his condition and access a more modern and available health service.
I've been back in Guyana for about 3 years now. I previously used to live in Montserrat. That's where I was diagnosed with CKD. But Montserrat does not have the medical assistance to deal with CKD patients. So I was brought back to Guyana for second opinion, third opinion, which was confirmed, and ever since then I've been on dialysis.
The kidney disease patient reflected that since he has embarked on this journey, it has been a challenge.
Fighting kidney disease is physical and mental. You have to be mentally strong. You have to want to live. You understand? You have to really, you have to go beyond. It's not just an easy battle. That's why it's a nickname that you call kidney patients, and you call them warriors. You know, from a physical standpoint, there are scars. There are lots of scars. My independence is gone. When I left Montserrat, I pretty much left everything. You know, everything just went down the drain actually after that. Came back home. And since I'm home, I'm heavily dependent, totally dependent on my family.
In spite of it all, he persevered, sticking to his treatment schedules, honoring appointments, and ensuring that his health remains his priority. He spoke of the availability of dialysis services at the Georgetown Hospital and explained that persons on dialysis have the option of undergoing kidney transplant surgery.
Dialysis is free at Georgetown Public Hospital once you're inpatient. Once you're hospitalized, you do get free service there. But when you finish there, once you're out, you know, you pretty much have to battle for yourselves. Transplant is the better option for kidney patients, right? But while that is happening, there's a lack of donors. You know, I think people need to be aware more about the disease, more about donorship. You know, let them know that, well, donating a kidney won't affect you in any way.
Giving his views on what can be done to improve dialysis in the public health sector, Lutus noted that the training of specialized nurses in the area of dialysis will result in more effective administering of dialysis.
One of the things I would like to really expand on is dialysis nurses. Dialysis nurses are not like any ordinary nurse, you know. They're supposed to be, well, not supposed to be, but from my experience, they are special, so to speak. Even on the machines, we need care. Being on the machine is not anything easy. It's not a 1, 2, 3, go on and come off. There have been cases where people died on machines.
We now turn our attention to a much younger survivor. 18-year-old Abigail Mars has her own story to tell.
Well, I started showing symptoms of nephrotic syndrome at the age of 5. Would have had like swelling on my eyes. That was one of the symptoms I had. Well, I went to some doctors. They said it was allergies, and the pills that they gave me was quite working. But as I proceeded and got much older, that was at the age of 12, my symptoms have gotten more worse. And there was when I went to the Georgetown Hospital and I was diagnosed there with nephrotic syndrome.
As Abigail grew, she often was in and out of the hospital. By the time she was 15, the former St. Joseph High School student was diagnosed with stage 5 kidney disease and was placed on dialysis.
I did hemodialysis. That's the blood one where they insert a catheter inside of you. That's 2 tubes. One draws out the blood, filters it, and the other puts it back inside your body. That was actually a really, really depressing, devastating. I really sometimes don't really want to, remember it. It's really like a sad moment. After this treatment, especially, it's 3 times a week. 3 times a week, every week, for 4 hours each. And remember, I was only 15, still going to school, preparing for a grade 9 assessment, all these things, and I have to go do dialysis, then when it's done, go back to school and all these things.
At this stage, medical professionals involved in Abigail's case advised that a transplant surgery be done at the Georgetown Public Hospital, which will be free of cost to her family. After examining the facts, Abigail's mother was excited that her daughter would be free from dialysis post-surgery. However, Abigail had her doubts.
I actually did not want it to go ahead with the surgery, but my mom was really happy about the surgery. The reason why I did not want to go into the surgery because I was scared, because you hear all of these complication stuff, and then I was also scared for my mom too because she was my donor.
After all this, Abigail finally had the opportunity to sit the CSEC examination with passes in 12 subject areas. She is an aspiring entrepreneur and is currently pursuing studies in business management.
Life after transplant has been very much tremendously great. I am now able to contribute to society in a much better way. I can see where my time is going. I don't need to spend 3 times a week on a machine, wasting time and doing all these things. Now it's really exciting to live. Life has become really meaningful more.
The post-kidney transplant patient advises that persons must stay hydrated.
So what I'm saying that people out there can do, keep themselves hydrated, drink a lot of water. Don't go through the day without drinking water, at least 8 glasses of water a day to keep your body hydrated, and it helps with your kidney function, everything. It helps to keep it in order, and also to people out in the public who may think they're healthy too and might not have any problem with the kidney, to still go check up on their kidney functions from time to time, make sure that everything is okay, because this can happen to anyone anywhere. You see, I was only at 12 years old.
You have heard the stories of 2 persons, one who has fought and the other who is still fighting kidney disease. We will now explore kidney disease and how persons diagnosed can get help.
Chronic kidney disease means your kidneys are damaged and can no longer filter the blood the way they should. The main risk factors for developing kidney disease are diabetes, high blood pressure, heart disease, and a family history of kidney failure. It becomes chronic since the issue develops over time.
According to Health Day News, it is said that kidney failure, it's a hidden endemic. The reason for that being is because most of us, we have kidney failure and we don't know. How is that even possible? Right? So the majority kidney failure, it has 5 different stages. There are stage 1 to 5. Stage 1 to 3 is asymptomatic, which means that majority times you do not present symptoms. So you can pretty much have kidney failure and not present any symptoms.
Persons, especially those diagnosed with hypertension and diabetes, should have regular checks done since early stages of kidney diseases are present without any symptoms.
So what I basically want to tell you today is that it's very, very important to make sure that everybody get their tests done, their laboratory tests done regular. Us as Guyanese, we have a tendency on waiting until we're sick to go see the doctor. We need to we need to change that, right? We need to make sure that we go to the hospital and get regular checkups.
Meanwhile, those who have been diagnosed have a second chance at life. Dialysis is available at the Georgetown Public Hospital free to inpatients and at some private institutions at a cost. Transplant is another option which restores the body's natural function with the diagnosed person receiving a kidney from another person who is of age and in good health.
Around the world, we have patients, typically in an ideal setting, around the world, the waiting list to get a transplant is about 10 to 15 years. In Guyana, that is not so. Because of our population and so on, right? The waiting list probably, the waiting time probably, is, once you have a donor, it's about a year, right? Which is not very long, right? Our program here in Georgetown Hospital, it's almost like about 90-something% equal to the ones in the first world countries. It's because we try to adapt their protocols and everything to incorporate it in our program.
From a government perspective, Minister of Public Health Walter Lawrence has indicated that in addition to what is already in place, there was a recent move by the government to expand dialysis services.
And so over the last year and a half, I've been looking at ways in which we can really, really help our patients. And we have last year put in the newspapers an ad for expression of interest so that we can be able to work with private partners to offer dialysis, not only just at the Georgetown Hospital when you come in, but to have walk-in clinics in regions 2, 3, 6, and 10. So we've had that expression of interest out. It has been closed, and now we're going to go out for persons to bid, those persons to bid, so that we can be able to provide that service. Because many times we only look at the cost, the medical costs, but there are so many other costs, transportation. Some people have to find accommodation. They have to find meals while they're in Georgetown.
Even as the government explores options which reach out to patients diagnosed with kidney disease, Minister Lawrence continues to advocate for all persons to take charge of their health to prevent any chronic disease.
It's our bodies, and we must treat it with care. We must treat it specially, because no person just ends up with a kidney failure. It's a progression. It's related to other things that we don't do, or things that we overdo. And so I think even as we speak of kidney disease, that we ought to ensure that we marry those things together.
This has been InfoHub Extended. Thanks for watching, and join us again next time. Goodbye.